All right, it's 12:02, so as promised, we'll go ahead and get rolling. I want to thank everyone for attending today's session on JSM AI innovations. We've got 3 awesome speakers here today from Atlassian. So we've got Vish, who is a senior solutions engineer. We have Kate, who's the senior technical product marketing manager of ITSM. And then Jason is a solution sales executive from the public sector. So I'm super excited to have you guys here. Looking forward to everything that we're going to learn today about AI as it relates to JSM. Everyone should be on mute, I believe, on the call. If you guys do have a question, feel free to pop it in chat. I will answer as much as I can via chat. And then if there is anything, that seems like it'd be a good question for the group, I'll kind of, interrupt Vish or Kate or Jason and be like, hey, can you guys address this question real quick? So we'll kind of do that. So please keep the questions coming as, we're talking. It's always nice to kind of talk about things during instead of waiting for a Q&A at the end. So that's kind of how we'll operate today. So with that, I will turn it over to Vish to start things off.
All right. Hi, guys. Happy to be on this call and share whatever we have learned in our roadmap that we have with our JSM product team. As Kelly mentioned, I have Kate and Jason, who are going to be my co-presenters over here. But I also have Nick, who is sitting across me on the other side, who's from Atlassian as well. And we are more than happy to be on this call with you guys. Kate, you want to kick us off with the slide? We are going to do a bit of slide just to give the overview about what JSM AI is we have, and then we will move on to the product demonstration. Okay, Kate, you're up.
Sounds great. Apologies, I'm not sharing my video because I'm having some internet slowness. So please let me know if any weirdness happens. Of course, that always waits for the call to start doing this. As mentioned, we're going to talk through some of the slides today to give you some background, and then Vish and Jason will be giving you context and taking you in the solution and showing you what these items actually look like. I want to stress there's a ton to talk about when it comes to AI innovations in Jira Service Management and the Atlassian portfolio as a whole. So look at today as more of an overview. We're not going to be able to go super deep just because there's so much to discuss. It takes up a lot of time. So with that, I will get started. So as Vish mentioned, we'll talk about Atlassian's AI philosophy and also our philosophy of how to create technology-driven teams and help them achieve their biggest potential or their greatest potential, how you can use AI in Jira Service Management, where it's woven throughout our platform. We'll do in-product demos with Vish and Jason, and then questions and resources we'll provide at the end as well. With that, let's get started. So this here is a list of all of the AI innovations that we have available today within our Jira Service Management solution. I've color-coded them so you can see what we've got available to help seekers. Of course, Rovo and Agent Studio does indeed help seekers, but it also helps agents and folks who are providing the help because it takes the onus off of them to put everything front and center to the help seeker, but it also empowers them to find information faster. So I did just want to call that one out as a bit of an outlier. And then we've organized it by what's here to help admins, what's here to help agents, and then what's here to help your ops responders. And we'll go through all of these today. Before we get too deep into the philosophy of how Atlassian is thinking about AI, I do want to touch on our system of work. And so that's how we're marrying the technology with the people. So that's going to be a big theme throughout today. We're very human-centric when it comes to our AI and when it comes to our portfolio. And we know that by thinking about the humans and the way that humans work and pairing that with our technology, we're able to make sure that they can get a lot more out of their time, they can be more efficient, and they can live happier lives while they're at work. And so we think of our portfolio as a way of marrying technology and people together so that they can get their jobs done with a smile. So first, Atlassian Intelligence. Again, we are talking about our AI as a human-centric tool. We're not going to replace humans with our work. The way that Atlassian is developing and thinking about AI is in thinking about what are we doing in our daily jobs as help seekers, as agents, as folks who are working in IT ops, as folks who are working in dev. What are we doing that is monotonous, that is cumbersome? How can we take some of this work off of folks' plates, but also get them the information they need faster so they can do their jobs more efficiently and with a lot less context switching and frustration? And so that's how we're thinking about AI. That's how we're building it, to accelerate your productivity, to get more out of your manpower, and also to make sure that you have visibility into everything in your portfolio. Again, we put being ethical, and we put being trustworthy and compliant at the top of our list here. So we are committed to building AI responsibly. I will put these links in the chat for you. Sorry for that. I'll put these links in the chat for you at the end as some resources where you can read a little bit more about that in detail. I know that's a big concern for folks, especially when it comes to AI. Part of the power of how Atlassian AI and the information that we're incorporating in it is what's called our teamwork graph. And I'll get into that in the next slide, but it connects very closely with our system of work principles. So when we're thinking about the technology that folks need to do their jobs, and we're thinking about people, and we're thinking about work, we need to access the teams, right? We need to know what their goals are. We need to know what work they're doing. And we need to know what collective information they have, their knowledge, in order to help innovate in those different areas. And that connects very closely to Atlassian's teamwork graph. What makes AI so powerful at Atlassian is that we have visibility into all of that work, right? Like we're connecting dev teams, we're connecting business teams, we're connecting IT operations teams. And so we can see that Confluence page that you wrote. We can see that pull request that you created. And by taking all of this information and putting it at the hands of our AI solution, we're able to surface a lot more insights, have visibility during an incident, have more information when planning a new project. And that is really what's so exciting about the AI at Atlassian, is the access to the people, the work, the goals, the institutional knowledge, and being able to connect all of that and put that in everyone's hands. And this is, I love this image because it really showcases how accessing all this information in the teamwork graph brings you a lot more power when it comes to how you're looking at data. You're able to make better data-driven decisions because you have that full visibility across the people and the work, no matter what work it is that they're doing, whether that's developing something, whether that's marketing something, or whether that's even across human resources, for example. And this ties into our system of work because we're looking at all of those different aspects of how work gets done and connecting it to the information in our teamwork graph. And then we're building out our AI in order to support all of those different aspects. We're keeping the human at the center, and we're giving the human the decision-making power, the information. You'll note that oftentimes when Vish showcases later on in the presentation some of our AI functionality and capabilities, oftentimes the AI is citing the source for the information so that you can cross-check that source and you know where that information is coming from. So you have the full context. So you don't have to just blindly go off of the AI. So we're keeping that human in the loop when we're doing these things. And we're talking mostly about Jira Service Management today, and that's where we're going to be focusing. But we do have AI innovations across our entire portfolio. Again, we're just doing a high-level overview of what's available in Jira Service Management. We would probably be here for months if we went into each aspect of our portfolio, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of a taste, and then you can dive into the areas that are of most interest to you later on. Before we get further into it, I do just want to cover the way that we think about service management at Atlassian. I know I mentioned we're connecting your dev, your ops, your business teams, your support teams, your customer-facing teams. And the way that we think about this is by providing a connection across these teams and visibility across all of the work that's getting done, as well as autonomy, so folks can work the way that they want to, and they don't always need a Jira admin to do everything for them, if that's your model, of course. I know in some cases that does not work. We're able to accelerate how quickly work gets done. You're able to provide more context during incidents and make sure that they get solved faster. When a request comes in, you have more context to that request. If someone says, hey, my laptop's broken, I can look at that person, look at what laptop they have, what office they sit in, and provide them with a new laptop. For an example that's not incident. And we're making sure that you're able to deliver those values quickly and also empower your teams to deliver great service with a lot less pain. So the more information that they have, the more power that AI puts in their hands, the more visibility that they're able to get from our AI solutions, the more efficiently they can do their jobs. They're happier, and your customers are happier as well. One of the ways that you can leverage AI in order to get work done is to use our virtual service agent. And so Vish will go into a demo of this. But for example, that can sit in a lot of different places. It can sit in your help center. It can sit in your service portals. You can leverage it for email. You can leverage it in Slack and Microsoft Teams. And you can also use a widget and embed it on your website. So that way you can leverage it there. But just because it's available in so many places, I always like to use this slide to showcase where you can leverage it. And here, and survey asking a question about how many days of leave they have remaining, and the service agent provides the answer for them. And this is through leveraging the virtual service agent, which again, you can use in your portals, in your help center, through email, or as a widget. Again, I know that I'm talking about the human-centric aspect of it quite a bit, but to me, that's what makes AI at Atlassian so special. We're not taking the teams out of it or the people out of it. We're thinking about how we can make their lives easier and their jobs better. So here, this illustrates nicely how you can leverage Rovo, which Rovo used to be agents, right? But we've recently announced we have Rovo agents, and then we have Rovo search as well across our platform. This to me illustrates nicely how each type of team can leverage Rovo in their daily job. We'll touch on Rovo briefly, but again, today is a light overview since there's just so much to cover. Rovo is solving key challenges for folks and key pain points that we encounter in our daily jobs. It's difficult. I don't know, for me, at least at Atlassian, there are so many sources of information and there's so many people creating information. It moves fast. And so that means there's a lot of information out there. At the right time is the most important part. And so Rovo is powering search so that it can surface that information for you faster. You can interface with Rovo, chat with it like a work companion so that it can answer questions for you. I've created a few different Rovo agents. One of them I've created to ask it, hey, what's coming out this week on the Jira Service Management roadmap? and it will provide answers for me. You refine the sources that it can look for to make sure that you're giving it the best possible information. And then it can just answer questions to you like a colleague. And instead of having to bother that same person 5 times a day to answer your questions, you're just talking to Rovo instead. Agent Studio is where you can build out these different Rovo agents. It's really quite nice the way that it walks you through it. It makes it pretty foolproof, especially for folks not familiar with building this sort of thing. And then we do have agents that come out of the box as well. And again, we'll touch on those very briefly today. I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out Studio yet, you do so and just play around with it. Maybe even do something fun like make a horoscope agent, which I've done as well, just to wow some of my colleagues. I think one of the most exciting innovations with AI recently with Atlassian is the ability to pair Rovo agents with automation. That's incredibly exciting. You can do things like, in this case, we have an incident and we're telling Rovo, hey, when this becomes a major incident, please add the subject matter experts as responders. And so that's a great example of how it's cutting time out for you. And now we've reached the part that everybody is really excited for. We're at the demo portion. So we're going to demo from different perspectives of the different roles. So first we'll talk about what's available for help seekers, what's available from the admin perspective, the agent perspective, and the ops agent perspective. Again, quick overview of each because there is a lot to get through. The first things that we're going to cover here are the virtual service agent and AI answers. And I'm going to pass that off to you, Vish.
All right. Cool. Thank you so much.
Hey, Vish, well, before we jump in real quick, we have a question around, are we aiming, are you, meaning Atlassian, aiming to connect with other AI products such as Copilot, ChatGPT-4, DeepSeek, etc.? Or can we talk maybe for a second, just answer that question if we can?
Sure, absolutely. So the way Rovo works is we are connected to OpenAI LLM, of course, and then we have our inbuilt LLMs that we are hosting, basically Llama 3, Mixtral, Pi 3. These are some of the other LLMs that we are bringing in, and Rovo is using them as well. Would we be able to connect with Copilot? We connect with GitHub Copilot for our dev experience part of it. I'm understanding, I think your question is more like if a organization has Copilot installed and is something that they are using Copilot internally for their entire organization, would Rovo be able to connect to that? That's something that we have brought up with our product team as well. The answer that we got is it's not just about us. It's a lot to do with also Copilot and how much amount of data they are ready to share with us. Can we go ahead and connect with them? That's something that our product team is looking to work with other solutions like Copilot out there, but not as of now, where we are connecting with other outside LLMs that we would not be able to control with regards to permissions. Because one of the follow-up questions in the chat was again the same thing. There are certain Confluence pages and stuff like that which is very confidential. How does Rovo handle that? When Rovo goes ahead and gives the answer, it looks at the user level permission for those spaces and those articles that are created as well, and then provides only that relevant information. If that particular space is restricted, then again, it controls that. This came up with some other customers as well, where they asked us the same question. There's a lot to do with permissions. It's not just about running an API and connecting with a third party like Copilot or someone else. It's a lot about the restrictions and how we can restrict that particular spaces that are there, that are more confidential than you would allow people to go ahead and just search over here on the portal side.
Yeah, and I think to add to that, it's role-based access and protection of data is one thing, but also contextually aware is another, right? Getting to know you, getting to know who you are in the organization, where you are in the organization, what things affect you. So when you ask generic questions, like give you an example, we have a use case we're working on right now with JSM and Rovo agents where the customer is responsible for hundreds of flight simulators at several different locations for their customers, and each customer has a different model or a different serial number, so on and so forth. So being able to put Rovo on top of the data to support the 15 different systems and subsystems, which are thousands of knowledge base articles, configurations, knobs and switches. Basically, you would, for lack of a better description, that you would adjust. They want to use Rovo to help their customers that are using the flight simulator move faster, get questions answered quicker, and be able to, if they do need to raise a request or support, help their agents respond faster so that there's minimal downtime of those simulators. So just a complete different approach to a traditional, hey, let's put a bunch of knowledge base articles out there, let them search knowledge base articles and hope that it's correct. And that power of both securing the data and then being contextually aware is, I think, really where we want to take and make it more personal in there. But great questions.
All right. Can everybody see my screen? Portal?
Yep.
All right. Okay. So keeping in mind what was shared across before, as you can see over here, I'm going to start off with the help seeker side, which is a virtual service agent and the AI answers. Right. So over here, let's go ahead and take a simple example. I'm not going to showcase the entire portal and what JSM is. I'm pretty sure you guys are well aware of all of those part. So I'm just going to go ahead and say something where I would get a Rovo answer, like, how do I order a new notebook, something like that, right? Which is more of a question. Now, what basically is happening at the background is that it's looking for index and it's saying, okay, do I have a intent that has been created? If there is an intent, which you will see in the next example, then I would have more of a guided approach to solving it. Something like yes, no, based on my response, it would give it. Here, what we are doing is we are doing more of a Gen AI, more something that based off of what I have asked for, look up for other sources. Like, as you can see over here, what is the source of this particular information, right? Is this coming from Confluence? Because Rovo goes ahead and connects with your SharePoint, connects with your Google Drive, connects with other solutions out there who are serving as a source of information. We are able to go ahead and connect with all of these third party as well. That way the information over here, when they go ahead and search for on the portal side, is not restricted only to Confluence and the knowledge base that you have created in JSM itself. Okay, so as you can see over here, it goes ahead and tells you, like, this is the source. These are some of the things that you might want to do to go ahead and request it. It also provides you with follow-up, like what is the process to order something, or what are the specific forms that I need to go ahead and fill out, or what are the different models that are available that I can go ahead and take a look at. So there are various things that Rovo does. It also gives you suggestions of the follow-up question. These may be the questions that you have, or you can even enter your response over here and ask for more questions, or something that was not proposed over here. You can go ahead and ask for that over here as well. As you can see, again, if there are multiple articles that it has summarized, let's just say there's one Confluence article, there's another related article in SharePoint, and there's something else in Google Drive. It's going to go ahead and combine and summarize that particular information for you, but it is also going to give you those 3 or 4 sources through which it has gone ahead and provided this summary. Okay. All right. Any questions in the chat that I'm unaware of?
Nope, you're good. Keep on moving.
All righty. So let's take a look at something more that we are aware of an intent. What happens if somebody looks for or types something that has a matching intent? Okay, as you can see over here, sounds like you are facing a VPN issue. I say yes. Now this is more of a transactional, this is more of a journey that we are taking for a guided approach, right, where we are looking at some of the things that are more trivial, like clearing out your cache, not able to connect to VPN, or need a password reset. These are some of the most common items that we would want to have an intent over here, which again, I would go ahead and provide a response to, and based off of that, how the intent is designed, it's going to go ahead and take care that you would be able to resolve this particular issue and have a deflection rate. This is more important for higher deflection, or maybe guiding a particular user through the process. If they say, no, this is not just not helping out, these are some of the articles that can help you out, this is still not helping, go ahead and create a ticket on behalf of them or something like that, right? So this is where we are differentiating between those trivial tasks, those more commonly asked items, versus a gen AI response through Rovo, which you saw in the previous example. Okay, any questions in the chat so far?
Nope, none yet.
Oh, all right. So we saw the first two aspects of it. We'll get to Gen Studio. We'll touch on it a little bit at the end if time permits. But now moving to the second part, right, which is more of the agent experience, how automation rules come into play, KB articles that we just saw, and then we'll take a look at the request types as well. Okay, so shifting gears over here, going into the KB articles, as you can see, I have gone into this particular project based off of what people are asking, how many times people are requesting for something. What Atlassian Intelligence does is basically, hey, maybe you might want to create these articles because this is what a lot of people are searching off. See, as you can see, AI goes ahead and looks at this and says, like, setting up equipment and access for new hires. Maybe you need to create a knowledge article. Why AI is suggesting this? This is based off the number of the times people are searching and looking for that, keywords that is the similar ones. It goes ahead and groups all of them and then goes ahead and allows you to create this. Again, if I click on view draft, AI has also gone ahead and provided this particular article for me. I can then go ahead and copy this and create editing into a specific page, a space in my Confluence, and so on and so forth. Okay. All right. The other aspect is in terms of the automation piece, right? So when you look at automation over here, we are trying to make life easier for the admin as well, because a lot of the times you always get these questions like, how much time does it take to implement this? Or so if we are moving from one particular solution to another, it's going to take a lot more uplifting for my admins to go ahead and implement JSM. So one of the things that we have done is also try to use AI to go ahead and help our admins. Like, for example, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this one. Like, when I work item status is changed to done, then transition all the linked work items to done as well. A lot of the times we get these questions like, hey, can you create a rule that says like all the child tasks are to be marked complete when the primary ticket is marked complete? Or it could be the other way around, where you would say, hey, all my subtasks for onboarding is completed, mark and transition the primary ticket that was open with HR automatically to done or resolved, right? So as you can see over here, where AI has gone ahead and helped us create this particular rule. I'm not saying that every time you would be able to use this AI, there would be certain complex things that you would want to build off, or maybe you would want to call, some of the agent, and then agent has to then again do some work, or maybe you would want to connect with your AWS instance to provision maybe an EC2 instance or something like that. Those kind of things, you would still have to write those, automation rules manually as well. However, it might allow you to get a template, and we are also providing a lot more things when we are creating rules by itself as well. As you can see, if I would want to go ahead and create rules, we have incorporated a lot more. So now that we are looking into HR, space as well for services, as you can see out of the box, we have incorporated Workday. We also have Workato and stuff like that that you would be able to connect right out of the box. Okay. Any questions in the
Nope, you're good.
All right. Okay. So moving to the next aspect, as you can see over here, we have taken a look at these natural automation. Now let's take a look at the AI request type. All right. Moving into our request types in service request, this is another something that has come into play where we are using AI, because like creating a form and having a suggested fields and stuff like that, it should be more easier, right? It's not something that we would want to manually go ahead and have it done. So think about this, where I would say, please create a form to submit travel expense, something like that. Okay. And if I can spell it right, there we go. All right. So what AI does is basically it looks up like what are the different types of travel expenses that you would have, and whether it would be an advance booking or it would be an itinerary that you would want to get validated from your manager and all of that. Over here, what it does is basically goes ahead and creates this particular form for you in a specific workspace that you would want. And then when you click on next, it's going to ask you like, where do you want to put this into? Like into, I would say common requests, or create a group, and that's it. It would go ahead and create this particular form. And then it also gives you a suggested fields that you would say like, hey, these are some of the suggestions that I would want. Then it would go ahead and create and say that these are some of the suggested fields that you would want to keep on the form. All right. Any questions so far in the chat? Anything?
Yeah, we do have one. Vish, are there going to be any integrations into CMIC, ERP, or Microsoft Dynamics? I think this question was asked during the automation portion.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at our automation piece, right? So there was one very interesting one that one of my colleague built out for provisioning of, I think it was AWS. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, we use a lot of out of the box if we have those connectors. If not, we also have a capability of, sending out webhook requests. I think it was alerts. I just want to give you an example, which was provisioning. Alerts update, I think, was our provisioning. I'll see. Was it this one? Oh, it was in my, my apologies. It was in the global administration. Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that we can do. Even whether you would want to call out New Relic, or you would want to call out another orchestration tool or something like that, you would be able to do that as well. Here, as you can see, we are calling out Rovo in this particular example. I think this was the one, or alert moves to progress. I think this one. Again, there is a lot that you would be able to do. One of them is, of course, using the Rovo agent to go ahead and call out. Also, as you can see over here, we are able to send out web requests. So we can do a post, put, whichever you may. We can provision VMwares if you would want. We can call out SCOM if a lot of our customers are on Microsoft platform, if they're using SCOM for their auto provisioning, or they have runbook automation that they have already built out, which you would want to call from here, you would be able to do that as well. And the same thing goes out from the intents as well. What was not there previously was calling out a web request. Now we are able to do that using intents.
Yeah, I think I see a question came in. The question was, how about Azure automation? I mean, the short answer is yes. I mean, we have a customer that's actually looking at what is the RPA UiPath,
UiPath.
and us doing part of the automation for a password reset on a mainframe. They use UiPath, or they use an RPA to do that. So as the service request comes in, captures the information, and we're able to trigger that automation to kick off that RPA and take the data out of JSM and into that RPA and get that done. So I see Jeremy said integration for an Entra ID lifecycle management. Very
Yes.
possible, though. So yes, short answer is yes. I was trying to be generous there and give myself a little bit of room, but which is laying down the hammer. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. There's, one of the things I've found, and I've been at Atlassian for about 2 years now, is that there's really not much they can't do, and that kind of triggering and calling other systems in order to get the workflow going is getting more formalized into kind of out of box integrations like Workday and others like Workato, so on and so forth. So I think that's the direction overall that you'll start to see Atlassian go down, is having those kind of out of box connectors to the different most popular platforms, obviously. But I hope that answers your question.
Right. And with the Entra ID, the most common is password reset. We do not want, I mean, you would want a ticket that says that this particular person had requested for a password reset, but it's auto closed or resolved. It sends out that particular information over to Entra, triggers the password reset, sends the email to the end user, and then it auto resolves that particular ticket. Ticket is just there for audit purpose, that there was something that was created, but there's no manual intervention where an agent is actually going ahead and clicking in Entra and resetting the password for Wish. Okay. When it comes to Azure, as you can see over here, start runbook Azure, whether you would want to restart like a virtual machine in Azure. As I said, even for AWS, there's a lot that we are able to do. It just depends upon the use case. If anything that is not available over here out of the box, it's something that you would want to do in probably Grafana or something like that. Even then, you would be able to use send web request and get that done. Okay. All righty. Any other questions in the chat, Jason, before I move ahead? I have
no, nothing in the chat. I'll just add to kind of where you're going with that, is that we're starting to see our partners who are marketplace partners are delivering applications that are built on and run on the Atlassian platform, just as our apps do. One notably is we always get this question, is do you have a integration into like a call center software like AWS Call Connect or something like that? And while Atlassian ourselves doesn't have that, we have a marketplace vendor that does that today, and they built their compute and their storage on the Atlassian platform in the site that you would have. And what's really great about it is they leverage all of the routing rules and all of the different components that you've already built for your ITSM to give that experience to the end user. And I just bring it up because building an application on the platform is not a far stretch for what our customers are starting to do as well, as build out what they need on the platform. It's that flexible.
All right, cool. Thanks, Jason. So now let's move into the agent side of it. As you can see over here, where it's the issue triage, related resources, suggestions, we'll take a look at it pretty quickly and then move into the ops side, okay? So from an agent perspective, what we are going to see, right? So as an agent, when I go in, look at all my work that is coming in, as you can see, this is something which is new layout, where we have added a summary that showcases the work that has been assigned to me, my team, and all of that for the project that we are taking a look at. Once we are in, I would like to see different views. We have a board that we have gone in and placed just like what Jira software was. Now in my open tickets over here, I can choose, and this is mostly when you have people who have used MS Teams, Slack, email to reach out to you, where they have just dropped a particular ticket. We do not know who it should go to. At that point of time, we can use triage, where we can go ahead and select those items and go ahead and see, like, okay, based off of the content of what was written, where do we think this is the most likely that we would want to triage this? As you can see, this is from the virtual agent. This one does not need triaging. That's why it's just taken it off, because it's in the right queue. Now, say, for example, people have used Portal, they most likely have gone ahead and chosen the appropriate request type that they would want to do, have it triage to. As you can see, I can select all of these and then go ahead and apply it, so that way it triages it out to that particular team. Okay. All right. Now moving into a particular ticket over here, let's just say I'm going into a ticket. Let's just say my VPN, which was not working, as we saw the same example over there. One of the things that it also does is summarization. Now this is important, not just if it's a Slack communication that's happening, because in Slack people type, right? A lot of back and forth happens on Slack, MS Teams, or maybe emails, right? So you would want to summarize this. This is also helpful when people go on PTO, some other ticket gets assigned to it. You do not want to go through the entire work log of what's happening in terms of the communication. You would want AI to go ahead and provide you with a short summary, telling you exactly what that's something that you would want to follow up with, or this is what the gist of this communication is with the end user. Now over here, you'll see on your right hand side, we have suggestions. Again, this is powered by AI, where it says, like, okay, based off, this is not just a Confluence article. This is very important. A lot of our customers have asked us, like, hey, how can I use the ticket data? A lot of the times you have made, a resolution field mandatory. We have put in a lot of work over there over the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, right? It's not just a knowledge article. I cannot write knowledge article for every single ticket that we are resolving. However, that data is already there in our platform. What can AI do to help me as an agent to resolve this faster? It's all about mean time to resolve, right? The lesser that particular time frame is, the faster we can resolve tickets. That means the faster user can get back out to providing service to our customers in turn, right? So over here, clearly what AI does is it says that, hey, this is related to a VPN issue previously. This is something that the user had mentioned. If, say, for example, it says that Jason has worked on similar tickets before, a lot of the times, then it also says that, hey, Jason is a subject matter expert. Maybe you want to get in touch with Jason, or these were some of the steps that Jason had taken previously to resolve similar ticket. This is very important, right? Because all of this is basically helping me out to go ahead and reduce that mean time taken to resolve. Any questions in the chat section so far?
No, you're good.
Nope, nothing new. Yep.
Alrighty, okay. Now what we are also going to take a look at is the response side from the agent. As you can see over here, there are a lot of comments that have come in. If you would want to respond to a particular customer or in node, whichever you may, we always had this canned response, which was previously there. Now we can also use AI to go ahead and write a response, like, write back that we will look into this and send more info, like logs, etc. Right? So I'm writing this. Basically, whatever I'm typing, AI is looking at it and goes ahead and writes it better for me, right? Because you do not want to send this particular response. Say, for example, you're still not happy with this. You can change that particular tone to maybe make it professional, maybe make it more casual, make it more educational, whichever you would want. And AI is basically going to go ahead and do that for you. All right. Okay. So this is your response. Again, it goes out as an email. You can use canned response as well. That is something which you guys can do. right? So now quickly, let's move into our ops side of it, where we are going to go ahead and take a look at AI alert grouping. We are also going to go ahead and take a look at the incident creation and PIR creation. This is important. And then we'll touch base a little bit about the Rovo agents that are provided by Atlassian. Okay. So now going into our operations side over here real quick. I think I already have this open over here. So all my alerts that are coming in, again, I'm not going into the alerts side of it, like how the alerts are coming in, all the integrations and all of that. Again, I think most of them are aware that Ops Genie is now part of JSM Ops. And this is something where we have brought in all the features and functionality within JSM, so that way they can use it right over here. Okay. As you can see over here, there are some of the alert groupings that are happening, basically for the noise reduction for all the alerts that are coming in. Now, one of the things that you would be able to see, let me see if there are any alerts that are having any groupings that I can go ahead and take a look at. There you go. So this one has two alerts that have been grouped. I know it's P5, but just for an example, as you can see over here, this is how it's going ahead and clubbing up all of the alerts that are coming in based on semantic similarity and tags. There are various groupings. Probably we can share across how it goes ahead and groups it. Based on the source as well, based on the words that are coming in through the alert. Like if it's a CPU load for the similar host ID, then again, it's going to go ahead and club those alerts. So there are various parameters through which it goes ahead and provides that particular grouping. It also tells you like who those alert responders are previously, if you would want to automate that particular aspect as well. Again, it looks for the history of similar alerts. As you can see, there are similar alerts that have come in previously. If there were, again, people who had been working on these, then it is going to go ahead and suggest those as well. So if I would go into this particular alert, as you can see over here, it tells you also if there is a work item that has been linked out, then it's going to go ahead and showcase that as well. If there were past similar alerts, AI is going to look for them and give you that particular information.
Hey, Vish. There's a question that came in. It says, are there any plans to expand the AI suggestions to other request types than service requests? So I'm assuming that means like if you have incidents, if you have normal service requests, but
Yeah.
some idea.
So for example, over here, like a setup of a new employee, this is a new one. Or let's look for an incident. This one, VPN, was basically an incident. Set up a new employee. That's again something which you can enable suggestions over here. As you can see, now it's loading up for new hire, which is nothing to do with an IT. It's something which is related to a new hire, right? So here it says that Mark job role is not specified, updated work item. If there is any, it gives you a summary as well. So yes, it can be enabled for anything that you would want. I think we are also going to enable them in changes. That's something which we have brought it up. I'm not sure if I have it in my demo instance for now, but that's something that came up as well. One of the customers did ask, are we going to have suggestions? I'll see if it's something which we have enabled over here, um, but that's something that came up, that they would want suggestions in change management as well. For now, it's on the service request and the incident side.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing between Kate's response and your response is basically if you have a project that's for HR, if you have a project for facilities, if you have a project for permitting and licensing for, let's just say, citizen-facing services or something like that, AI can be applied across every one of those types of requests, whether they're in one project or whether they're in separate projects. Obviously, you're going to go into the agents here soon and how the agents can leverage that data as well. We did just see another question that came in, and Vishal, I think you'll like this one. How can we apply AI for Jira assets?
Okay. So assets is something which is enabled when you go for JSM over here. So these are your assets that come along with JSM, of course, and this is something which is a part of JSM. Now, what we have done is, say, for example, you would want onboarding, offboarding, those kind of aspects where you would want to use that. Then, yes, we can go ahead and apply that over here using these assets from JSM. In terms of automation, we do have agents. There was one, I think, I and Kate were discussing yesterday about the ops agent that was there, that was using asset information as well. I think that was in the operation side. Okay. Do you have a specific use case when you say Jira assets? Are you talking about Jira software?
I think they mean the because they put insight in quotation in parentheses. I think they're referring to the assets app as part of Jira Service Management, but will be available across the portfolio. In
Right.
this case, I mean, what you were saying, Vish, is right now there as AI isn't directly integrated into the assets experience, but eventually Rovo will be able to have visibility into assets. Today, what you can do is couple a Rovo agent with automation in order to get information in and out of assets.
Right. Right. If you have a specific use case, then let us know, like give us like a proper use case, and then we will be able to provide a better answer to that. And if it's something that you guys are seeing a lot, then we would take that to our product team as well if it's not there. But this is something, as you rightly mentioned, AI in asset. But what exactly would AI in asset mean? Like, do you want to take actions? Then of course it's going to happen through automation. Like if you want to update certain parameters where a user or the owner of the asset has changed, then how do you automatically do it using Rovo agent or something like that, where you take an action from the portal? Then it would be through automation, because automation will have to go ahead and look up all the assets that Wish has, and then pick out the laptop that Wish is facing problem with, and then update that particular attribute or the information that is provided by Wish that needs to be changed, things like that. Okay.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. I see, Brian, I said you recently, I tried to integrate the automation with Workday following the steps from documentation. I know that is, if I'm not mistaken, that's still it's still in beta. So I would say mileage may vary as they work out all the kinks.
Yes.
But definitely report it into the community. I put the link in response to one of Craig's comments, and then Craig comes in and says, assets, AI should tell us which system services and other assets will be impacted by a change. This is something JSM should be able to tell us based on the type of change, etc. Yeah, and today in the linking of the relationships in the CMDB and the dependency mapping, as you start a change on a service, obviously that linking is happening. But I agree with you that AI should be able to dig a little bit deeper into it. And as systems are added and links may or may not be there, they should be able to see adjacent services, other impacted, potentially impacted, and then driving automation. Do you just notify the system that's being changed, or do you notify downstream folks as well, so on and so forth? So yeah, I mean, it's kind of good. I think use cases are going to start to pop up out of nowhere that makes sense now that you're applying AI to everything you do and more of a process based, because it's going to see things that you can't see.
Right. All right. So over here, what I'm going to do is, as you can see, again, this is the alert when I'm creating an incident, and you can have this automated as well. Whenever if somebody goes ahead and acknowledges this, automatically create an incident over here. It brings the information like this one, where we can insert the information into what AI is going to go ahead and provide. So that way I'm not wasting time copying and creating these in affected services. If I would have something like billing or something like that that is affected using this particular alert, then we can have that associated as well. So creation of an incident, um, definitely using AI reduces the time and also provides the accurate information rather than me copy pasting everything into the incident that we are creating. Okay. Again, as you can see, suggestions are something which is enabled for this particular operation side. So it's going ahead and creating this. Again, it provides you with all the information like, hey, previously, this is what we had seen. This was the affected services. This is what you would want to set up as the SEV. But that's something which you would be able to do. Now, once you have this, say, for example, you would want to go ahead and add a post-incident review. This is, again, something which you can use AI to go ahead and generate this for you, where I'm going to say, like, for high memory, which again becomes a part of uh, something that you would want to track. You would want to keep an audit for all the post-incident reviews if there was a major incident that was detected, where AI is typing this particular information for you. Like, this was the narrative, this was the SLA, like these were the people who were the incident responders, this was the impact lead time. Why this is important? We are giving a structure to the information that we are typing in. You can edit this, and then you can insert this or create this particular post-incident review. As in how you guys go ahead and start creating this, AI is then again going to go ahead and feed off of this particular information. So you have good information that AI can feed off of to provide you with more suggestions, better results, as in how you guys start using and utilizing this, templates that are provided by AI. It kind of self feeds itself based on the usage that you guys have. Okay. So now looking at what we have gone ahead and covered, basically we looked at the end user or the help seeker side of it. Then we also saw the agent side, the admin side, how we can make it easier for them to go ahead and provide faster requests that are coming in from the businesses, like creating automation, maybe creating article suggestions that are there, also request types. Then we also saw the agent aspect of it, which was more of the triage. We saw suggestions. Most important for suggestions is the ticket data, not just Confluence articles that we are looking at. Then we also looked at the summaries and the response generation that we would have for the end user. Post that, we also saw AI grouping that comes into play for alerts, and then AI, how it helps out with the incident creation and the PI, post-incident review for major incidents that comes into play. Rovo agent, again, this was something that I had kept at the last, just in case we do not have time like this for 2 minutes. Again, that's something which comes as a part of Studio, where it provides more like a wizard as to how you can go ahead and create agents. It provides you with a guided way of going ahead and creating a service agent, and so on and so forth. As you can see, which project you would want to align it to, and how you would want to create a particular service agent. However, we would need like a specific a call for its own to go ahead and talk about our Rovo agents, and a specialized team member to guide you guys through that. Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vish, Jason, and Kate for joining us today. And thank you again to everyone that joined the call. Just a reminder, in case you didn't see it in chat, we will be sharing out this recording later via email. And then also, if I can get the slide deck from you, Vish, or Kate, I'll share that as well. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.